Hi, fantasy book lovers, TGIF. This is Thank Gods It's Fantasy Podcast. We are Kayla, Veronica, and Bryanna, three best friends who love talking about all things books. From the romance, the conflict, and of course, morally gray men. Every 2 weeks, we will be getting together to talk about our theories, opinions, and reviews of our current read. Please read along, join in, and be one of our book besties too. Welcome to our show. Thanks for joining us. In this episode, we will be talking about the last half of The Songbird and the Heart of Stone, written by Carissa Broadbent. This is the third book of the Crowns of Nyaxia series, but the first in the Shadowborn duology. Mm-hmm. And man, am I annoyed that we have to wait for the next one, because a lot happened as we assumed it would in this half.
It was good, so it was good. It was a good 50%.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good 50%.
Yeah.
Oh.
The cliffhanger sucked.
Yeah.
Yes. Obviously. Which we knew it was going to do. But also I loved reading it and then re-watching our last podcast, because the amount of things either debunked or we were right about was kind of fun.
Yeah.
There was some serious
way off on some of them.
Ophelia was wrong. Okay, fine. I'll start.
You had us convinced too.
You had me seriously convinced. And I was like, and if it's not that, then it's wrong. Like,
and now we're like, oh,
we were just
wrong. We were just right initially.
No, really was a scorn lover.
It was, but she wasn't even like scorn. She just got murdered.
I mean,
she was just
scorned in a different way.
In a different way, because she wasn't mad at him before she died.
Correct.
No, but she was mad at him for bringing her back.
Understandably. That was horrific.
For bringing her back. Yeah.
Yes.
And that was like essentially what was keeping her, was the attachment from him bringing her back and him like not letting his regret go.
Well, and she couldn't find peace.
Although she did mention many, many times that she called for him 72 times. So she was a little mad that he didn't save her, I think.
I know, but
not that that's his. I agree. Yeah. Not that that's his fault, but she really held on to this 72 times. The amount of times I read that, I was like, we get it. You called out a lot of times.
But also, like, imagining what was happening to her.
Oh, I'm sure it was absolutely horrible.
Malik is
fucked up.
One of the worst. I
get
think.
into more of that pretty quickly. But first, I want to touch on Chandra. Vampire baby killer, huh?
Yeah, wasn't guessing that. That was not that. Yeah, nope, wouldn't have guessed that. I guessed vampire killer, but not vampire baby killer. That's
it was that made it so much worse.
Yes. Yeah. I completely forgot that she was taken and like they used her to be like a midwife. Same. I forgot about that.
Yep.
Until they said she was killing babies. I'm like, what do you mean? And then I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. But how did she get away with that though?
Maybe
you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know. Maybe that's what she was saying.
Yeah. Like
she told them they were dead, but she was killing them.
You would think her lack of success rate would maybe convince them to go a different route, but also she ended up being killed. So like maybe they did find her out at a certain point.
But
I don't know.
But these vampire mamas really even care, because a lot of them just wanted to get rid of their heirs anyway.
That was
true.
Yes, I was kind of thinking about that too, but obviously that one cared. That one cared a lot.
Yep, because she's like, I remember you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I know what you did.
But yeah, I was a little surprised by that. I did not blame Misha at all for just being like,
bye.
Deuces then.
Not helping you. Between you and my man, I'm going for my man. Sorry.
I know, I died. As soon as she was like, oh, that's disgusting. Bye.
I'm still convinced that Misha and Asar are like mates in some way, just because of like.
I know.
They continue to have like a bond that's
I wonder if her lineage will go back to where it's both of their lineages. Like she'll have what's her butt, but sorry.
I don't remember what you were talking about. I'm so sorry. I can't help you.
That's okay. We can just go into... So Malik is the worst. He also fucking killed Lucy!
Okay, that whole
Rude.
thing. We really started off with some doozies at the beginning of this one. I was like, what the fuck? fuck?
Mm-hmm.
He's horrific.
I can, like, forgive people killers, but I can't forgive animal or baby killers.
And it was just because he was
Both
starting
of
to get,
you are
like... Yeah, all because he was starting to get, like, good or whatever. Not good, but, like, noticeable. And so
and liked. Like, he was doing well at court, so he was just, like...
He's like, I'm
jealous
down
of her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Murder your lady love.
Murder your best friend who's a dog. That's really just food for us. You're a weak person. How dare you?
Yeah, and how old was he when that happened? Like, really young.
I was going to say, I thought he was still a child.
Was he?
Or
between 8 and
young.
11.
Yeah.
It was like between 8 and 11. He was still a child because I remember...
his dad made him revive the dog.
Yeah.
I was like...
He's like, show me that I can keep you.
I know.
Do you think they knew that he had Alaris's blood in him?
I'm guessing it's gotta come from his mother's side because otherwise Malik and all of them would have it in them, right?
Yeah, but I mean,
I don't know. I feel like it's gonna come from his mom's side
because they said that he had a lot of lovers. That he was promiscuous also, and so
yeah, I'm not sure either on that one.
It'll be interesting to see more interactions with Nyaxia and him because is she going to have like a little bit of a vendetta against him that he's like the offspring of one of her husband's lovers? You know what I mean? Obviously they've already interacted, we just haven't really seen it. But she was very excited to sacrifice him and for Alaris to come back.
Did it have to be him to be sacrificed? Because he had the blood, right? Because he had okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it had to be him. Which I was not expecting that.
I didn't understand. Okay, so if he had to be sacrificed in order... did there just have to be a sacrifice, but he wasn't going to have her do it?
No, it had to be him.
It had to be him. So what?
Yes.
So he brought her and the other Dawn Drinker to complete the resurrection?
I don't think he found out until Secrets.
I was gonna say I thought that was to open all of the like relics up, like because he had essentially blocked all of those with his power, so he needed someone with that power to then open up to get all these relics.
I think he thought that he could find something for Soul in Soul, but then when they were in Secrets, both of them obviously were like
chit-chatting with the gods.
So he found out in Secrets from Nyaxia telling him. So I don't think he knew that he had his blood. But they keep talking about his eye. So like, is his eye attached to Alaris?
No, I thought that half of his face went into, what's it called? Into the death world or whatever. Mothrin, whenever he was trying to pull Ophelia back. And that's how he got his scars, and half of his face and his body was because that part was getting pulled through the veil.
Yes, totally. But they kept just referencing his magical eye the whole time when they were referencing how he's different and how
once it was like light shoot out of it at one point.
Yeah, it was like light and smoke and all this stuff. So and they kept just kind of referencing.
Maybe I thought
like that it would glow
like
at certain times and not glow at other times. Yeah, I don't know. We might.
Well, and that he like looked kind of different, but the only thing that she was really noticing was his eye during that whole last little part. I don't know.
Like I said, I thought it was just a mood ring sort of thing, but on his eyeball.
That'd be nice. You could just read someone's mood off of their eye. Purple. Red.
It's green.
Oh my God,
it's blue.
I did find it interesting when he was trying to bring Ophelia back, and that's what was happening. Like, hands were like trying to come through, and the way they described it is they were like almost going through her body.
Yeah.
Which was gnarly. And then yes, he was trying to like fight him back, and
and he was fighting her because she was scratching him and like
she's like, why would you do this to me?
Yes, and that's why like the scars that they showed in that one picture that we saw that's not how I imagined it, because if there were really hands just like scratching and like gouging at his skin, I don't imagine like little tiny lightning strikes.
I agree, but then they do describe it like that later in the book. There's like, I should have highlighted it and I didn't. They described it like lightning bolts. I was like, that is not how I feel like you initially described this, man. Like now you're making it sound pretty.
Very sharp nails.
And she did not gouge very deep then.
She just the tip.
Just the tip.
Oh my god, stop. Oh my goodness. So we are still in Psyche at this point. We have not made our way actually to the next one.
Psyche was a big one, I feel like.
It was a massive one compared to the next two, I feel like.
Yeah.
The next two I feel like went kind of, not quickly, but more quickly compared to Psyche. But we run into this blinding light, which, of course, Nisha's like, what's a little more pain? Goes through that. And then she sees a reflection of herself. Mm-hmm. That was kind of like showcasing all of her sins and throwing all these accusations, which, of course, Misha's already her worst critic. Like, she does that, I feel like, regularly anyway. Mm-hmm. So I feel like she was kind of drowning in that for a little bit until Asar bursts his fucking way through the goddamn wall.
Mm-hmm. He's a freaking beast when it comes.
Yes.
Like when it comes to her.
Yeah, no. He does not fuck around.
No.
But I love that she did have to actually utilize her shadow power to help kill her own reflection, which that was weird.
Well, that was the only way, because otherwise that thing that she manifested or whatever it was, it was kicking her ass. Like,
it was kicking.
She was not
it
winning.
held the key.
No.
Like, she had to, just to get to the key in her reflection's chest. It was so interesting.
Well, and it would be interesting to know if it was a trap set specifically for her, or if anyone that went in there would see their own reflection or not.
That would have been my guess, but I don't know that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would have been that whoever decided to go into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it seemed like Psyche really played on whatever your thing was.
Yes. Well, and it seemed like the only way you can go in there is if you were someone of the light, because that person or whatever, that being or whatever, when she saw Misha for the first time and she like noticed that she did have the light, that's when her face like changed and she's like, oh, like, sister, like, let's be together. And then she like reached into her chest to like feel who she really was. I don't know. And then it came out dark and tainted.
Yes.
And that's when everything changed.
Wah, wah.
But yeah, the relic in this realm was a silver ring from when Nyaxia and Alaris got married. I do love all the little flashbacks to their little moments. I know you do also, Veronica. I feel like you really love those.
I would love a them story. Like, agreed. I would love their story because of how we know it ended and all of the trials she went through. And then, I mean, he dies. And then her turning around and kicking the entire White Pantheon's ass. That would have been very interesting to just see their whole entire story. So I wonder if she'll do a novella. I mean, come on. If you're going to do
all these other ones, you got to give us
all these other
that
ones.
one.
You got to do theirs.
I mean, she did one with Vale, so I mean, I don't see why she wouldn't be able to do one with
100%. But I wonder if she'll wait until we get to some sort of resolution with it and then do it, so it doesn't potentially I feel like it could spoil something potentially, so it could be like
because we are getting a lot of their story throughout these stories.
Correct. And I feel like this next book is gonna be a lot of the gods.
Yes.
Because then they just start going through all of them, like who they all were.
We meet them all, and then he's imprisoned by them, so clearly we're gonna be dealing with them for a minute.
Yeah, this book really kind of felt like a feeder book to me, a little bit. Less Misha's book and more leading into the next stage of this world's story. You know what I mean?
Story.
Because of the way that it ended, it's not just her that it's affecting everyone else in the world, and it's progressing to this next stage of the whole process, rather than it being like, oh, the next story is going to be just her. Like, it's still going to be just her and Asar, but I don't know. looking back on it, they feel almost less like main characters, I think, than Aurea and Rain did to me.
That sounds like a familiar story, like One Dark Window.
Yeah. Yes.
Veronica's not butthurt about that one.
Gosh.
Yeah. Other than that one, I liked the other couple that they were.
Well, and I love Misha and Asar, but yeah, you're right. I feel like I would like more of that because they do feel like more of the backstory to like
a greater story,
to a great plot, which is fine. But I want a little more of them still because I mean we get some moments.
Felt
Don't
like a builder book.
It did. I really feel like. But I mean, with a duology, I feel like a lot of times it can be the case where you're building up to something and then the second one really resolves
the next
a lot of it.
Probably going to be epic, but also it's only book 4 of 6. So
I know. So by book 6, we're going to be really.
It's going to be wild.
Because I feel like she's building up really till book 6, like for all the world stuff. I don't even think a lot of the world stuff will be resolved in this next one. It'll just
No, not at all. It's just going to get worse and worse.
Well, now it's Endless Night, so here we go.
I know. We'll get into that, guys. We'll get in.
Yeah.
We did go back to Morthrin because Misha was very injured and lost consciousness. And so he takes her back there.
Story of her life, honestly.
She does that many
She gets the shit beat out of her during this journey. Like,
Well,
really intensely.
I know, and she never wants to take the sword that he gave her, and he's like, you need it. And she's like, no.
She's like, no, it feels too good. I love it.
You are just way too used to taking intense pain.
She feels like she deserves it. This book, you guys, was a lot of, like, trying to heal your inner demons and your PTSD and all the trauma that
it was a very trauma dense book.
I
feel like on both sides because he also was very self-deprecating and going through
and it doesn't help that their trauma showed up at every single level.
Yes,
once Moloch comes then it's like Moloch and Ophelia at every level. Like
I know.
And not just those two, but it's also Seisha.
Yeah, and then Seisha comes into it. I mean, come on.
Fucking Atraxis. Fuck him. Oh,
I know.
My God.
But you know who I did like getting to meet was Esme.
I loved her. I like her story, too.
She's a badass, you guys.
She is a badass. I mean...
her.
Think of Asar and how long, like, he's had it, and it sounds like she was not the ruler, the overlord
300
of the underworld.
300 years.
Yeah. Badass, man.
Until she pissed off the Shadowborn king and got...
Nyx.
But then she trained him.
Yeah.
Yes. But didn't she get killed by Moloch also? Because she gets real spicy when he shows up.
I think he's just a dick in general.
I was going to say, I think she's protective of Asar, and that's where a lot of that was stemming from.
Yeah.
I don't think... I
loved their relationship.
Oh my God, I loved how chill he was. Like, she was like, he's lounging. What is this?
I also just thought it was sweet that she was like, because I love you so much, I hope I never see you again.
I know. I loved all of those types of conversations that both she had with him and then that she had with Misha about, like, I just want better for him. Because she was, like, telling him to go back and be king, live your happily ever after.
Don't do this. Yeah. But also she was like, look, Misha, he really is into you. And once he's into you, he's never letting
There's never going back.
I died because, of course, Misha was, like, denying it. And she makes the comment about he couldn't even stand up after he saw you in a nightgown.
I love that part.
I also like that she purposely put just a nightgown out for her, or like had her little ghost minions.
Yeah.
The fact that she has little like
ghost servants,
ghost housemaids is hilarious to me.
I think Psyche, yes, I get that it, like plays with your mind, nothing is real. But man, I would love to taste fake food if you could still taste it.
And then you don't gain any weight.
Yes.
I loved how much she was like, I'm eating everything.
There's no calories.
Well, and I don't think that food has tasted like that for her since she became a vampire. So she was finally kind of like back to her human.
No, she loved it. But then also, I had a really hard time picturing what a fake shower would look and feel like, because it essentially said it didn't clean, but it felt warm. And I was like, how?
But
how
they looked clean, but yeah, they really weren't clean. Yeah, that was tripping me out too.
I don't know.
Yeah,
she said that she could smell them.
But she said to go shower because they smell. So it was like,
yes, because then there was still a new scent, because they said it felt like warmth and smelled like something. I can't, some sort of, I feel like floral something. So like it clearly semi worked, but so did the food. Like it's not like they weren't eating, it just had no nutritional value. Like that's where I was having a really hard time.
Let me live there.
What?
Yeah,
I'll live there.
Right.
Hot showers and food all the time. Yes, please.
Right. I hope she's okay.
I know. It really felt like a goodbye. But I'm hoping not, because clearly
it felt like a last stand for her.
It did,
I mean, shit, they blew her fucking house up. But also, can she just like think it back?
I don't know, because I thought that Asar helped her make it also for some reason.
Yes, I was under that impression that Asar helped.
Well, he's a god now, so maybe he can just...
I mean, you would think he could do a lot of things now that he is...
And he's a god of death, so...
Correct. So it'll be interesting.
Shadow daddy to the max.
We do love a shadow daddy. Oh, we find out he can play the piano.
Oh, I was just going to say that. Yeah. And very well, too, I heard. But he wants to play the cello.
I know. That was so random. He's like, man, yeah, I wish I could learn the cello. And she was like, the fuck? You and cello? And then she finds out he can play the piano, and it probably connects a little more after that. But I also love that she wanted him to dance with her, and she's like, we don't even need music. He's like, nah, and his little shadow tendrils are freaking playing the piano for them. I was like, what kind of fancy ass
that's a flex
is that? Right.
That's a flex right there.
He's like, no, watch this.
I know.
I'm not gonna.
Yes, Kayla, do you have something to say?
Say it. This is a safe place. We listen, we don't judge.
I can't with those videos.
Stop it.
Have you seen those?
Yes. We listen and we don't judge. No, I'm just like, what else can those delicate little tendrils do?
I mean, girl, that is the first place my brain went when I found out we had shadow tendrils that can play a fucking piano. Clearly, we can do other things.
Those are delicate little...
I can't.
What else can they do?
Well, maybe the next book we'll see what they can really do, because
he's got god powers, so he even better have even stepped this game up more.
You're not wrong.
I'm the worst.
Not really.
Oh my goodness.
You're good.
We do get a fun little liner from him, because they're like talking about when Atraxis picked her to be his wife and how old she was and all of that, which still. And he says, it is an injustice, Misha, that this is what you got when you asked for love. This isn't what love should feel like, because this becomes important later when she has him, show what it really feels like. So loved some of his little liners.
Yeah.
And then this is also when he is playing the piano. She looks at him and thinks, I am home. So we're really playing up on their love finally. Let's go.
Well, and it's funny because it seems like such a short amount of time, but
they've been there for a long time.
It's been months and months that they've been on this journey. Because it takes what, like 3+ weeks for each level?
It's taking quite some time. There's a lot of time passing.
Do you think that when he became a god and he was like in the death part of it, do you think the air mark went to somebody else? Does he still have the air mark?
We don't know.
We don't know. They didn't talk about it. But
because it was already was it in this?
It was like coming like intermittent.
It was like, coming in and
going
out.
in and out because he was too close to death. But it couldn't go to Misha then because she's
actually dead. So because it shows that we saw it going in and out because
she's
of that.
actually dead. So does that mean that
We can't have the sister fucking get it. Fuck that.
Well, even if she does, then Misha can go up and kill her ass.
Well,
and then
she can get it. That'd be great. I still feel like she's gonna end up with it somehow, and he'll just be a god.
He'll be a god.
I think they're gonna kill all the gods with the arrow, because Nyaxia stole it.
Oh,
took it with her.
That's right.
Yeah,
that whole thing's gonna get.
Honestly, Nyaxia is probably gonna take all them out, and then we just need one person to take her out. But then he has to be an ungodified, because you can't just have one god.
Because his power would be insane.
Yeah, because it's communal power.
It's gonna get real messy.
I'm very excited.
I am excited also. We cut back and we see the conversation that she had. And Atraxis is pissed that she cut down the vampire, because now we don't know about her loyalty. Her loyalty seems tainted, and he's been blind to all of her little quirks that she's had up to this point, and now he can't. So
he always just thought they were like cute, like, oh
yeah, now it's becoming less cute. He doesn't like it, so Misha's like, please let me go on this mission for you, let me prove my loyalty. And he said, all right, if you think vampires are so great, go to Opatrace and find a single vampire that can be shown the light, which is really just, hey, go get yourself killed, because
yeah, there's like, you can't do that.
Suicide mission, essentially.
It was a suicide mission. So we got that.
She's
little
like, yeah,
snippet.
I can do this. Like,
her
eternally yeah.
is
but it wasn't. I mean,
a little naive, but
it is. But like, this
very
is just the brainwashing that this cult had from her. Like, no, you're supposed to give yourself up to this god, and he's everything, and he makes everything good.
Honestly, it's her sister's fault.
It is.
I blame her sister for a lot of this, because even
her sister
at the end,
really
her
groomed
sister
her into it.
Yes, and she is if she had said one word against doing any of this, other than that, by that point, she was already a bride of Atraxis. Like, her sister not thinking that was a good idea wasn't going to stop her, because she then still went with her. If she had stopped at any point throughout all of this, Misha wouldn't have ended up where she was.
Can't you guys literally imagine all of the child stars out there whose parents just get this money from their kids, putting in all the work or whatever, and they get to live the life of luxury or whatever. I don't know how it really goes, because obviously I don't have a kid who's a star or whatever, is famous or anything like that. I don't know what that's like. But I mean, like, basically you're brainwashing them to work, and a lot of them, like the certain channel that people used to watch frequently, a lot of those kids that grow up to be like adults, and they have horrible lives because of the trauma that they had,
and horrible relationships with their parents because they were taken
yep.
No, I agree. It feels very similar to that. And we do find out that her sister was essentially having to like whore herself out before that. So I can't fully blame her for wanting to escape that life. But it should have some.
Her sister.
I agree. I don't think it was okay.
No.
But I get where some of her mentality was coming from, even though it was not okay.
Because I really do think Seisha was willing to whore herself out to Atraxis, if that's what she wanted.
Seisha wanted to be the bride.
Yes, she did.
It was originally going to be, it was originally her that was presenting herself.
Yes.
But then Misha was there too, and he was like, you. But she was the one that had the fanatic.
Yes.
Following the fanatic,
even at the fucking inn, she said she was just looking at her with this complete adornment.
She was looking at Atraxis like, I can't believe I'm looking at my god right now,
and that's what caused Misha to be like,
fuck,
gotta kill him.
Yeah.
Which is
because he didn't even know her name.
Nope.
No. Oh my god, that was horrific when
he's like, Seisha? Oh my gosh, when he went back.
Misha even said, I don't even know if he knows my name.
Oh, Misha's name.
He didn't know Seisha for sure, but then when she realized that, she was like, does he even know my name? He's never called me by my name. He's only ever called me Amara.
Well, I mean, he definitely can get into her memories and show her the things that she did, so.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fucked up, man. We'll get to that, because that's after they finally get down and dirty.
Yeah.
But in secrets, so she sees Vostis. Is that how we say it?
Vostis?
Vostis?
I think it's Vostis, yeah.
And we're not entirely sure what he's seeing.
Oh, yeah, that was kind of cool, too. I really want to know what he was seeing.
I feel like he was seeing the Shadowborn castle.
That's what she asked it, because I read this part again. She asked, like, oh, are you seeing, because he said castle. And she's like, Shadowborn castle? And he says yes, but she makes a remark that he was lying.
Like,
So
she knows he was lying. But
Yes,
it was,
so
like, it's okay, because she's lying also.
Correct. And she was fine with it, but we never actually find out what he was seeing there. Which I'm very curious.
Because he just says yes. He doesn't, like, actually go into detail about what he's seeing, where he's at. And whenever he's looking around and whatever he can see, he's
like asking her what she's seeing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And always acts confused. But they're both starving. They haven't had blood in a while. And Misha's, of course, like passing out.
Well, because she just got, like, obliterated.
Yeah, she got severely injured. So understandably.
By herself. By her mirror self.
Yeah.
And then there was this fight with the Wraiths again and the Soul Eaters.
I know. Homegirl really can't catch a break. But she needs blood.
Was anyone else like, bring on the cave scene? Because that's what I was thinking as soon as she was like, I'm hungry and he's so hungry and I need to feed him. And I was like,
I know. It really did have that feel again. And I love the negotiation that took place too, though.
Just 10.
Like,
yes.
I'll just take 5. And he's like, no, you need 10. She was like,
I love that he is the only person she has fed from live.
I know.
Well, that she remembers. Because technically her sister.
Yeah.
And that he's the only one other than her maker that has fed on her.
I know. I do find it so interesting. If you had a buddy as a vampire, you could essentially just never die, it seems like. You can feed off of each other. Like,
was anyone else thinking, like,
you just took it back?
Works. Yeah. All I could think about is, like, that's not how it worked. Now you just took it back. Like, you gave her strength and now you took it back.
It worked, though. Who knows?
Yes, it did work. But I was like, loophole?
They felt
but also,
fulfilled.
You can't be just doing that with your buddy because you're going to get down and dirty.
Well, yeah.
At least do it with a friends with benefits. At least.
Well, yeah, because
the venom makes you all.
I don't even think the venom. Well, she was doing it. She gave him her venom, and she was already like, hot to trot.
They were both very hot to trot, as you say, Veronica. But they, other than feeding off of each other, he has her play with herself into an orgasm.
Oh my god, I forgot about that part.
To completion.
But they do not have anything further than that in this moment.
She wants to, though, and he says no.
Because he doesn't want her to regret it.
I know.
Yeah, because he doesn't want her to be all bloodlusted.
Because he feels like he's a regret to everybody.
Yeah, I know.
I don't want to be one of your regrets. I don't even know if he says that in this moment, but when he says that at some point. Is it in this moment that he says that?
I don't remember.
Or was it later?
There's a couple times where he mentioned it, so.
Yeah.
No, it's like pretty quickly after this, actually.
They're tested pretty frequently.
Yeah, because we get to the little citadel / castle / whatever the fuck it is. And then we run into dear old Ophelia again. Because she just be dragging Misha down corner. Left and right.
Yeah.
I swear. And then she ends up like pulling her into, it's like a I don't know. This is where I have a hard time like computing everything that's happening. But she ends up confronting her sister in this moment. And Asara attempts to kill her and Misha blocks him. And then in all of this, they're realizing there's on the wall. And they manage to open this door amongst all of their fighting. It felt very chaotic.
Yeah.
It was.
And then they got in and closed the door, and then things mellowed out again in my brain.
Yeah, because then they were, like, stuck in there, and they were like, how are we going to get out? We just have to, like, wait it out until all of them
I wonder
go
what
away.
we'll do in our free time.
What shall we do? I don't know.
Then they get in there and then they see this grand marble box. It's already been opened. Mm-hmm. Where the fuck is this relic? Oh no, I guess we should have sex.
Okay. Sure.
Well, because part of it was Lucy got hurt in all of that. And so they need to wait for her to get better because she can shake death easier, but it's still a lot for, like, it can be a lot. So she needs to heal. And so they're talking. Misha ends up divulging to Asar about how she'll have nothing left without Atraxis's light. And Asar goes into this long rant about how that is not the case. I did not quote it all because it is a novel that he goes through about how she's this kind-hearted soul and all of this and blah, 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 blah. It was beautiful, but I did not move it all over here. And Misha's finally like, show me what love really feels like. And she does tell Asar that she will not regret him because that was part of his fear in this moment as well.
She says, I'll never regret you.
Yeah. No. But then like later she's like, but you're gonna regret me. And I was like, no, girl, stop it. None of that.
He's an all or nothing kind of guy.
For sure. Well,
he's a patient lover.
Oh, he is a very patient lover. I did not expect him to be so restrained. I did to some degree. But man, they really drew that out. And I love that he said a man can't rush worship.
Yeah.
Okay. Worship me.
Yep. Yep.
Well, and then they were going on. She's like, well, I guess that makes sense because like, with his job before and him like torturing people, you obviously have to know where all the spots are on the body and stuff. And
I love
well, and he knows how to take his time and like torture people. But this is a different kind of torture. And he tortures her a little bit.
Oh, yes.
She's like begging him.
I was tortured reading this.
I know. I was like,
just put it in.
But honestly, though, it really was to that point where I was like, okay, dude, let's do this. Let's go.
There's only so much good foreplay you can take.
I know, before it's like, it's too much. Let's go. Cross the line. I'm at the line again and again. Torture. They also drink from each other. And then they fall asleep and things go sad.
Yeah.
Bum, bum, bum. Atraxis is pissed.
Yeah.
Absolutely pissed.
Wifey's getting down with somebody else.
Yeah. Oof. He big mad. Big mad.
The fact that they could see them because they were on an altar and like spilt blood on an altar of a god makes it like all of this, the gods are like closer in the veil. So I was like, so we're like all the gods just sitting there watching them?
That's a good show.
I mean, obviously honestly. Nyaxia was also because she contacts Asar after this, but
or during because maybe he had the same dream.
Maybe I think it was like at the same time.
Yeah, but like after the sex,
right?
Yeah, after the sexy time.
But yes, this is when Misha kind of confronts him about her sister.
Yeah, like, why did you abandon her? She was the most
This is when you see
you.
her first little bit of defiance and anger towards him, which I was like, get it, girl.
I know, finally.
Like, actually to him instead of just, like...
in her mind. Yeah.
And he shows her what happened to her sister.
Which, so she really didn't know before this moment?
It seemed like...
I think she had the amnesia.
It was, like, suppressed. Because
he's also burning her face this entire time.
Because he's got her. He's got her. And I imagined it was here, but then
it was here, like he was like this, like holding her face like this, and it was burning everywhere he touched.
But later on, when Asar talks, he's like, "What happened to your throat? It looks like there's a handprint on your throat."
She talks about burning her face, but then I think he grabs her by the throat too. So I think she had burn marks.
He grabbed her multiple times.
Yeah.
But she does barter for her sister's life. in order to complete this mission or whatever, and then to spare Asar, which he agrees to, but of course the wording is a little bit of a loophole.
I was like, girl, you are bold. I mean, when he calls her out for it, like, you're really gonna just ask me to save the life of the guy you just banged when you're my bride? And I was like,
and she's like, yes, I am.
I was like, yeah, girl, that's bold.
She's like, did you not just watch that? Of course I'm fucking asking.
Yeah. Excuse me, sir. He's a god before he's a god, so.
Last I checked, when we got honestly, dicked down, it wasn't good, so.
She might be nervous about him being a god now because her sex with a god was not so good, so.
It was just with him. He didn't.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it'll be better.
But that's so gross. Just thinking about it.
Yeah. I know. Icky, icky, icky.
But Atraxis does happen to mention that the relic is there. It's just below where they thought it was.
Underneath.
So when they do both come to, it's very obvious Asar had been visited by somebody. We just aren't told who in this moment. Obviously, we find out it's Nyaxia. But they go down and they find this firefinch feather situation that was supposed to kill Nyaxia back in the day, but obviously that's what's supposed to be used to kill Alaris.
Well, they said that they found that arrow, that golden arrow or whatever, and they're like, okay, but was he supposed to kill her, or was she supposed to use it? Like, I thought they were confused. They were like,
no, it was Alaris's, and he was supposed to kill Nyaxia. So when he meets Nyaxia, he was actually already on a mission
to kill her.
Which is why I think they were even more mad at him for his relationship with her, because he defied a mission. He made her more powerful, basically brought her into being like a full-blown god rather than
sharing the power.
Because that then weakens all of their power.
Yeah. But the fact that he kept it is a little weird. So that's why they were calling it like his greatest betrayal was the fact that he kept it and buried it, and he had Atraxis bury it with him. That's the part that's weird. Because
he didn't want his wife to find it.
Atraxis knew where it was because he was like, I actually helped him get rid of it down there. I'm like, why?
Do you think maybe he kept it with the idea that maybe I'll need this for somebody else instead of...
I mean, that's where my romantic side would like to believe, but Nyaxia feels pretty upset when she finds it, because she almost seems like she recognizes it, because she makes like a face and looks like pretty upset and disturbed when she sees it.
Yeah, but I mean, we did see it kill Atraxis, so I don't know if that was just enough of a, oh shit, this can kill gods revelation. Let me need that.
But it's weird because I thought gods can't kill gods.
They can't. Misha killed him.
I know. So what is Nyaxia going to do with it?
Keep it away from someone murdering her?
And or find someone.
Also, I don't know. I don't think Nyaxia gives a fuck about the White Pantheon's rules.
True. She may just do whatever she wants.
Yeah.
I mean, she did. She killed a bunch of them to get to where she's at, so.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting to see.
I know.
So Asar says that the passageway to the Sanctum of Souls will act as the fifth relic, which apparently is a lie, because he's the fifth relic.
And he's in the passageway.
Correct. So
when that all happens.
That's what he tells her, though.
Dirty fucking liar.
I know, but we mosey on down to Soul, which Soul went very fast.
And was pretty.
Yeah, the way that they described it was very interesting. There was like a movie where they had like two worlds.
Oh.
And that's what it reminded me of, the way they described it, because it was like...
Was this the poppy one, or was Secret?
Well, they went through a poppy field at one point.
They like lay down in a poppy field before they...
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I was like, you're getting Twilight right now, laying down in a
field of wildflowers.
Yeah.
I liked that Misha saw like her human self on the other side of it, but then when she saw Asar's reflection, she's like, wait, it's different, but also so similar.
And it's because she was actually seeing Alaris.
Like his true self.
She was like, why does he look so familiar but not? And then she says, because I went back and read this part, she's like, now I know why he looks so familiar, because I've seen him in books, in statues, like everywhere my whole life, and it's Alaris. So he must look a lot like Asar, obviously, then.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. But I mean, like, so was she not seeing herself? Was he not seeing a reflection of himself? I guess I didn't understand that part.
And he brushed it off. Like, he knew
he was seeing his reflection, or he was seeing a reflection.
Yeah.
Yes. But he was acting, not fazed like she was by it.
And he was kind of acting like it was him. Like, he just, like, ignored whatever
he brushed it off when she questioned him about it. Oh, we did get a snippet back with Misha's sister telling her not to go out the night she was turned.
Yeah, that
and
part was bad.
We see, like, a little snippet of her running into, I'm guessing it was Malik. They don't say that, but I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And then she was so naive. So naive. Like, I just want to talk with you. And he's like, all right, let's go chat. And I was like,
and he's like, you're so brave for being out here. And she was like, why
would you say
why
that?
would I be scared? We're just here to talk. And I'm like, you have no fucking idea.
Mind you, she's been essentially since 8 in this citadel. I don't really feel like she
hasn't
experienced
been around
the world
much.
ever. So
she's done a lot of missions already at this point, and she has gone out and like killed vampires and whatnot, but she hasn't been in a vampire society to know like, we don't go out at night. And even the humans were kind of warning them and were like kind of weird with them, you know, when they showed up. So
yeah, because they're like, here's your last meal. Like, we've seen lots of missionaries like you trying to come out here, and y'all are crazy.
Like, this is where he sends them to die.
Yep.
Icky. Don't love that.
No, not at all.
Malik gets murdered.
Yeah.
Finally.
Twice.
A true soul death, we find out.
Yeah.
Which, not mad about that.
When I loved that it was both of them. Like, they kind of did it together.
Yes.
Because I think they both
mutual.
needed that.
Yeah.
As much as, like, I think Asar would have just given it to Misha again, he needed it too. Because Malik did so much to him.
Yes. I was going to say, I feel like the trauma they both endured from him, they both had quite the list. It did. It felt like it needed to be mutual.
Well, and he, like, pops out, and when he pops out and grabs Misha, he is like, sorry, she was mine first. It's like,
I was going to say, the comments that man makes is disgusting. Yeah. He had, not that I expected remorse from him ever. No remorse. Absolutely none. No. Could have given less fucks.
Well, and I'm kind of annoyed that him and Ophelia were, like, kind of working together this whole time, because they'd show up at the same time and, like, she knew he was there, or, like, acknowledge him or whatever, and thought it was kind of funny that, like, this was another person getting in on whatever they were doing.
But I'm like, mad at him.
Yes, he murdered the fuck out of you.
He ordered it. He ordered it.
It was not actually him. We did find that out.
But he was there.
Then,
with his friends. It says Malik and his friends drew it out for hours.
Yep.
If you have to yell help 72 times, it can't be too quick.
Sure wasn't. But also, how can you keep track? If someone's torturing me, I'm not like, 1.
Because she relives it every day.
Oh.
Yeah. so now
at
she
one
really
point,
knows
she's probably
that
like,
number.
How many times have I, because she's angry.
Let's just count
How many times did I ask for help?
God, so
missed that one. Let me go start over again.
Let's try that again.
The next day.
Gross.
Oh
yeah. But Ophelia does show up again. And once again, yanks Misha. We get like this rapid succession of her past memories. And through that, she realizes what Ophelia needs and is able to help her pass. It was a very chaotic, a lot of things.
So chaotic. I had to go back and reread it today.
I
was like, what even happened?
I liked
it because like a while ago, Asar had told Misha like sometimes you just need someone to listen to them. And so all she said was like, I'm so sorry this happened to you. And just that acknowledgement of her pain and her stresses and things that happened to her, I think that was a big thing. Instead of making excuses for it, just saying, I'm so sorry, and just making it like an action thing.
And even when she did pass, it says she didn't forgive him, but she let that anger go. And I love that Misha was like, that would have been too easy for him.
This whole time, she's killing her. She's latched onto her soul and is essentially eating her soul. She's like dementoring her because she like kisses her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she keeps kissing her.
And then going into her, she said.
Yeah. But this is when after Asar's already like passed over to the other side, right? And like she's supposed to be bringing him back. Is that when this is all happening?
No, this is before they even get to the gate.
Okay.
Yeah, because she goes.
She meets them in the poppy field.
Before they do the whole ritual.
Yeah.
She passes.
Okay.
And then they go and do the ritual quickly after this. Quite frankly, everything at the end was just like bam, 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 bam.
It was fast.
Malik's dead. Ophelia's passed. Time for this.
Yeah.
Gotta
now
hurry.
Misha's dead.
Yeah, and I listened to it, so I was like, I need to go back and read that because
I
was
can
a
imagine
lot.
trying to listen and pick up everything in that.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot happening at the end.
Listening while wrapping presents, guys. I was like, wait a minute. What is happening?
Yeah, that would be a little chaotic. So they do the ritual, and of course we find out Asar's the fifth relic. And as all this is happening, Misha's like, "This is wrong.
She just
Something
felt
doesn't
something
feel
was
right.
off. Yeah.
I don't like this." And Asar is like passing on. But she's like holding him by the anchor, which thank God they have this anchor, I guess. Otherwise, he would have been gone real quick.
Yeah.
And then
I think their anchor is actually more than an anchor.
100%, because he anchored freaking all of them, and it doesn't seem like they're connected.
Nope.
And then fucking Atraxis shows up, and he's trying to finish things out, and she sees her sister, and she decides, you gotta go, bud, and freaking kills him.
She stabs him in the throat. She's like,
When he was shocked the same
Throat
way.
and then chest. She realizes what he's actually after. He's
Yes.
after Alaris's power, and he wants to eradicate all the vampires. So she realizes that like all of her friends,
yep, all the people she's trying to
she
protect.
like sees the Nightborn castle or whatever, and like every vampire would be gone because it would be eternal daylight. Which part of me was kind of like, not the worst thing. Because they are kind of the worst. Like most collectively, not the best group of people. Right. No. But yeah, he was just doing it for power.
Yeah, but we're not trying to kill off whole peoples.
No.
You know.
No. So she like,
definitely wasn't.
Stabs him in the throat.
Stabs him again.
And then pulls it out.
Love how shocked
stabs him in the
he
heart.
was.
Yeah, just like Malik. Both the men that shaped her into and traumatized her entire life.
But even when she stabbed him in the throat first, like he was trying to kill her too at the same time. So she's like, this isn't like I'm gonna watch you die and he's holding on to her. No, like she is also suffering, and she is.
Yes. Well, yeah, because every time he freaking even touches her,
she burns.
Mind you, she's very used to that, so I don't feel like at this point it'd phase her much, which is so sad. Man,
Do you think that Seisha is going to be a problem now that she killed Atraxis? I don't think she's going to forgive her.
No. But, I don't know. I don't know if they can hold
new grudges in the afterlife.
I mean, I don't
new
know.
ones.
All the wraiths have grudges.
No, but that's because that's what they died with. I don't know if you can have a new one. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah,
I hope not. I hope that.
I'm really hoping that with Asar's newfound power, he can help all of these souls along.
Well, yeah, because he wanted to get rid of the underworld too, and like get rid of this whole place that she has now like kind of fallen in love with. Like she loves the sanctums. She thinks they're beautiful in their own rights and that all the people down here need to be saved. And she's like, this is like millions and millions of souls that you would just eradicate.
Yeah, I agree.
So wait, okay, so Asar was giving up his body. He was being the sacrifice so that Alaris could come back. When did Misha bring him back? Was it while Atraxis was choking her and she was stabbing him in the neck? Like, when did that happen? I'm trying to remember.
After she kills Atraxis, right?
Yes.
Then she
like
yanks him
pulls
back.
him back.
Okay.
And then ends up
she's already
imbuing
dying.
him also with that power. Okay. Yes, and then she dies because of the
Ritual,
throwback
I think.
from. Well, I thought it was the throwback from killing
the god
Atraxis.
Because it was a big
because
boom.
it was like a huge boom, and I thought that's what like left her basically in a heap of sadness.
Yeah, no bones.
And it sounded horrific.
Yeah.
And then
she
the
couldn't
gods
move.
are just like...
She wanted to like tell him to like
yeah,
stop.
she couldn't speak, she couldn't move, like she couldn't really do anything. And of course Nyaxia's like, well, you fucked this up for me, so
she's like,
I'm
you
not
stole
saving you.
his power.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
I know, and he thought she was just the best thing ever. He's like, you beautiful, beautiful woman, thank you.
He's like, you said you'd save her please. And she's like, fuck you, I'm not saving her. You just killed my love and you stole his power. Now he's never coming back. And like, what, you want me to save your love now?
Yeah.
No.
Oh man, that girl.
I'm telling you, she's a spiteful bitch.
I mean, she
If
had
I
really
can't
had a
have
lot
my
going
love,
for her.
Nyaxia is petty as fuck. Okay.
Yeah, and that continues.
Yes.
But I mean, all the other gods seemed horrible too, because we get introduced to all of them. We won't go into that, but we get introduced to all of them, and they're all horrible too.
Well, yeah, because you guys didn't read Vale's story, which
I did not read Vale's story.
Faustus.
Oh, whatever god
is in that one is fucking horrible.
Well, I mean, that seems to be pretty much what
They
it
have
is.
a godlike complex. They think they're above it and everything, and rules don't apply to them, and my realm's better than your realm, and blah, 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 blah. You stole my power. He has the power now. He shouldn't have it. He wasn't born with a god. And
I know.
got the blood.
So let's stick him in this room and make sure he doesn't have his memories, but he has his own memories.
But also, watch, I'm going to kill your lover here right in front of your eyes.
Yeah, one of the women stabbed her.
Yeah.
Stabbed Misha.
Yeah, because he was recounting all of what each of the gods did to her.
Yeah.
And or didn't do, whatever.
He's like, it's not what this person did to Alaris, and this person did to Alaris, and this person did to Alaris. But you know what I'm actually going to remember?
What you did to Misha.
Is what you did to Misha. Because he has all of Alaris's memories.
Yeah, and he
has all of his.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't give a fuck about that. What I will remember and what I will do something about. He's like, not if, but when I get her back.
I'm a patient man, he says.
I know.
No,
well, and she's in the underworld.
I know. She is in the underworld with
Vincent. I am back. I am so back.
Your excitement for that.
Okay.
Well, and he says, "Let's get to work." That's why I felt like this was more of a feeder novel because I feel like he is working to protect Aurea and Rain from the underworld, from Nyaxia, because she's gonna come back and get them.
Yeah,
because they're on her shit list.
Yeah,
and then Misha needs to be working to protect Asar or whatever. Yeah, like they need to. Work together now.
Think Vincent's kind of made himself the overlord of the underworld, because it really felt like he was like ready to greet her and get things going.
He was ready to greet her.
Yeah, he said, "I hear we have some work to do," and I'm like, "What? Who told you? What are we doing?"
But it seems like they're aware of what happens.
Yeah, because the underworld's right there. Like, I wonder if they could look up and see what's happening.
I think they can see what's happening. Yeah. Is what I think. But yeah, I'm very curious to see how they'll pierce that veil, because obviously they're gonna.
He's not gone.
Also, okay, you know how like in the last book I was like, you guys, it could have just ended here, and this part should have been an epilogue, or it didn't really need to be there. I definitely felt that way with this one too. I feel like it could have just ended with, we have some work to do with Vincent. I didn't need to know about Asar in the dungeon or wherever he was. Like I would have been.
Yeah, could have started that.
But I felt like that was a true epilogue. Like the other one had so many things before the epilogue that were irrelevant. True. That I was like, okay,
where these
that
things
could have
at
just
least
been
felt
an
more
epilogue.
pertinent.
This felt like an epilogue where I could just be like, take it or leave it. But I know, it's the epilogue. Who cares?
Yes, but I was just like, I would have, whatever. I thought it was good. I'm like, ooh, that was a good way to end it. And then I read this epilogue, and I'm like, okay, fine. He's gonna get his vengeance.
Well,
slowly.
The worst part for me, because I was listening to it, Asar's voice is horrendous.
Oh.
On the audiobook. It's like so deep. So deep. Did you listen to it?
No.
No, I didn't have the audiobook for this one.
Hold on. Pause, please. I just need you. I was like, why the fuck?
Epilogue. Asar.
Oh.
I sit alone for a long time.
That is not what Asar sounds like.
That guy's voice is using a lot of
is not one of them.
Yeah, it is
can
deep throat.
Yeah.
No, that's
freaking
Taryn in fucking Fourth Wing. That's how I picture Taryn.
Yes.
That's not how I picture fucking Asar.
This is not how I picture Asar. No. So that came on and I was like, what what the fuck?
Yeah, that's very
Who is this?
like grovelly. Like that's such a
No.
distinct sound, and I feel like that's not how I picture.
Because like I have
Ghost.
different pictures for my different guys. You know, like Khan, I picture big and beefy, and like he could maybe have a voice a little deeper like that, like a little more manly.
I don't picture him having that.
I
beefy
picture Asar kind of refined, a little more Reese-like. Like, I don't picture him like a big beefy dude.
No, I don't.
I kind of picture Rain a big beefy dude, like a really big beefy dude.
Yes,
but that did not match, and that came on, and I was like, "What is happening?"
Like, does not compute.
That really just kind of ruins it for me.
Do we know when this next book is?
No, it doesn't say yet. It just says coming
sometime in the future. I mean, it literally just got released a couple weeks ago, so I mean,
yes, I would be a little shocked and I mean, some authors be on top of it like that, but I feel like a lot don't have quite that.
Not in the
turnaround
middle
time.
books. I feel like maybe on their last book they'll crank that. They'll either draw it out or crank it out, one way or the other.
Kayla, what do you rate this book?
I think I'd rate it a 4. I liked it. Once again, it was kind of a slow start for me, and I struggled through the first half. And the second half was almost like too bang, 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 where sometimes it felt a little chaotic, but I still enjoyed it, and I'm still excited for the next book. Yeah, I feel like the last 10% made up for a lot of it for me.
Made up for the 90%? That was before.
Yeah. Yep. But I give it a 4.
Okay. Bree?
I was gonna do like a 3.75. For me, it was, and I'm not even in a reading rut right now, but yes, the beginning was slow. I had a much harder time picturing a lot of the things, and again, I don't think that was like the author's fault. It was just harder for me to compute on some of that. And again, I can make shit up in my brain and make it work, but it was not as clear as a lot of books are for me.
Sure.
It felt very much we're ramping up to something, which is fine. You need those books. I'm very excited for the next one. This did not dissuade me in any way.
Yeah, totally.
But after following the first two, for me, it didn't feel like it hit quite as hard, which is why I have to give it that rating.
Yeah, I probably would agree with that. I was like too afraid to go into the 3.
Nope, I went below 4, y'all.
Yeah,
not by much, but I went.
I think 3.75 probably would be actually.
No, I agree. I do think that this was also a 3.75. I mean, I wasn't gonna give it. I was gonna say 3.5 because I didn't even know like the quarters were in there.
I know
you can on some things, so I'm just rolling with it. We can do whatever we want.
We have given 0.75s before.
We have.
It's not because it was a bad book. Literally,
no.
It could just be me. I am definitely in a reading slump right now, and it's really hard. I don't know what's happening in my life right now. I know what's happening in my life. I don't know how to pinpoint what's keeping me in the slump because I just have been in a funk, and I don't know if that's a fair evaluation of how this book is really, but I had a hard time getting into it. I felt like getting into The Serpent and the Wings of Night. It was a lot easier for me to get into that one. Where this one, even though I'm so excited about Misha and her story and like how things were, it was really hard for me to get into this. And you're right, the last 20% really started. I'm like, oh, things are finally starting to happen. Yeah, I really wanted to okay, now I want to keep reading. But before that part, it was really hard for me. But the last 20%, I'm like, yeah, let's read the next one. And so long as it gets me there.
I just think the next one's going to be what makes up for this one a little bit. I do think it's going to, a lot more is going to happen. I'm hoping the pacing will be a little different. It'll feel less, because there was just so much where I was like, what is happening in my brain? I cannot, it's so chaotic so much of the time.
Esme's all of a sudden the wall blew out and there's wraiths coming in and you're just like, what? It was a lot of just all of a sudden out of nowhere, and I get that in the context of things.
Yes.
But I struggled with
even
this
the
one.
fights, where I was like, okay, there's all these wraiths, but it feels like there's not as many based off what's happening, but it feels chaotic. But if there were that many, I think y'all should be dead already. Just so many times.
And it's just 2 of them now. But also, I want to know what happened to Elias. I guess we're not going to know until the next book anyway.
He stole a petal.
He did steal
a petal.
Which means that what's her butt up there is going to be effing shit
petal
up.
Power.
But she's not a god.
No, she won't be able to still compete with brother, but
yeah, there's lots of things I still
brother,
want to know what's happening, but I mean,
yeah, but it shouldn't take a book that long.
75%.
I agree.
I mean,
Yeah.
50% really was like, okay, like things are.
I say
to
that,
go.
and I've told you that it takes 4 books to really get into Throne of Glass. Even though I enjoyed all of those books, but you were like, it shouldn't take 4 books for you to get into a series. And
I know.
You just gotta do it, okay?
No,
fucking do it.
I don't know if I can commit myself to that.
Gotta do it. Okay.
Okay.
All right, guys. That is it for today. We hope you guys all enjoyed season 1. We have come to the end of our first year. We're so excited. We hope you guys loved it. Also, if you do love it, then please share it with your friends. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and all major streaming platforms. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye, Beck Besties.
Bye.
Bye.